Hi guys, welcome to another Divi theme video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, we've got a great one for you today. If I roll down a bit, we just did this for a client of ours, and it's a little button there. When you click on it, it's going to pop up a lightbox of the latest news story. And of course, if you click on the news story itself, it'll take you to the full story there. Really easy to do. No plugins involved in this today. We are going to be using a little bit of code from Elegant Themes right here, and I'll put this link down below the video. I'll take you through it step by step. It's really easy and you can get some great results. I'm actually going to split this into two videos today. The actual color changing animation that we got going on there for the button and the section that it's in, I'll do that in a separate video. We'll just do the button and the pop-up today. So let's get started. Now, for anybody that didn't realize, you're going to need to have some posts or some news before this is going to work for you. I've made my news out of posts. I go down my dashboard and posts. I've just made 3 little posts here, and I've created a category of news. And for anybody that doesn't know, I'll show you how to create a new category. Once you're in post, you can go down to categories. It'll take you to this page. Give it a name. Let's call it latest news this time. And the slug, whatever you want to call it. Don't need a description. I'm going to hit the add new category button. And there we have it. It's at the top there. Fantastic. So now if we go back to the posts, we can use some of them for our latest news feed. Once you've got them there, if you've got them there, the easiest way to do this is through the quick edit. Go in there and change the category. There's our news. There's our latest news. You can have more than one category. I'll leave it in both categories. Hit update when you're done. And you can rinse and repeat for any others that you want to pull into that feed. And I'll just do this one that's a draft because I'll demonstrate the update feature on it. Quick edit. Latest news. Update. Great. So we've got 3 posts here that we're using for our news pop-ups. So let's make this happen. I'm going to enable the visual builder. I'm going to roll down. And I'll delete these sections and we'll start from scratch. Okay, well, let's add a new section between these two here. I'll just click on the section above, hit the blue button to add a new section. I'm going to make it a regular section. Now, what we're going to create now in this section is the actual bits that you want to pop up. So for this, it's going to be a blog post that's going to pop up the latest edition of our news here. So I'm going to use a single column for mine. I'm actually going to go down, and I'm going to use a post slider for this. If I roll down, there's a post slider. And we did this recently with how to show your latest posts. And I'm going to select latest news. So I know I've got, well, 2 in there and a draft. I want to make sure that the date is set from new to old. That'll work for me. That way, the newest news article that we post up there will always be displayed. For the button, let's say see full story or whatever it is you want to put for yours. Now, content display is showing an excerpt, which is great, and it's showing the metadata right there, which is the author, the date, and the category, etc. And this is the actual excerpt just down below. And you can choose to show that or not. I like that. You can choose to show the whole of the content if you want to, but that's going to take up too much space, really. So I'd rather it show this, and if they want to see the whole thing, they can click on the button. It's using the post excerpt to grab its stuff there. You can define a length if you want to right there. I'm going to leave mine. Great. Before we go down to elements, I only want to show one post. So I'm going to put a 1 in the box right at the top there. That's great. I think we're done with our little content section here. So let's go down to elements. I don't want to show any arrows because we only want to show this one story. Same with the controls, which are the little dots there. I do want to show the button. Post metadata, you can decide to turn that on or off here. Let's perhaps take that off. Great. Now at the moment, by default, the featured image of the post is being used as the background, and I'm quite happy for it to do that. That's just down below here. Featured image. You can show it as the background, or you can put it left, right, top, bottom, however you want. I like it as the background. I'm going to have a bit of a text overlay in a minute so you can read the text a bit better, but apart from that, that's absolutely fine. For anybody that doesn't know what the default image is on a post, if I go back to my posts here, let's quickly hit edit on this one here. And it'll take you to a regular post edit page like this. Don't edit with the Divi builder for the default image. All you need to do is go over the right hand side, roll on down, and it's featured image right here. It may be closed up with a chevron like that. Simply open it, and it'll have a bit of dialogue to add a new image. I've already got one in there, obviously. Once you're done, make sure you update or publish. And that's the one that's going to appear in the background that we've got going on over here. Great. Don't want it linked to anything because they just want them to go to the news story. If you wanted to, you could link the whole thing to the news article. Don't need a background because we're using our default image right there. Okay, and remember this is the thing that we're going to have pop up. So I'm going to save that. And in our section, I'm going to pop up this whole section. So I'm going to give this a little dark background. I'm going to go into the blue tab for the section. Background always under content. Color-wise, I'm going to make it black, but I'm going to bring the opacity down a bit so you can see a bit of whatever's behind it when we pop it up in a minute. So I'm going to take mine down to about 80%-ish. That's going to work for me. Fantastic. Right, well, let's create the button that we're going to make this pop up with. So down below, again, a little blue button. Again, I'm going to use a regular section. Again, I'm going to use a single row. And in my row, funnily enough, I'm going to use a button. There it is right there. And let's say latest news. Obviously, whatever it is you want yours to say. Not going to do anything with the link. Design-wise, the only thing I'm going to do is pop mine in the middle. Now you can custom style your button in the button under design there by flipping the little switch to on. But mine I'm going to leave just as it is on my default button style. Okay, here's the fun part. How are we going to make this button pop up this section? Well, Elegant Themes has made it pretty easy for us. And I'll put this link down below the video. If you just click on this link, it'll take you to this page. And it tells you how to open a lightbox with no plugin. If we roll about halfway down the page, we've got some CSS code. And it starts with the word body. And it ends with a little curly bracket down the bottom there. Select all of that, copy it, Control-C. We'll go to our dashboard. We're going to go down to Divi, the theme options. You can also do this in your additional CSS panel if you want to. I'm going to roll right down to the bottom. We're under the General tab at the top here. I'm going to roll right down to the bottom. This is where you'll find Custom CSS Box. If there's anything there, you can just hit your return key, flip it down a little bit, put your cursor there, Control-V, paste that code that you just copied in there. Once you've done that, hit your Save Changes. I'm not going to save mine because mine's already in there. So I'm going to undo that and I'll save the changes now. Just to show you, I think mine's down on line 159 or somewhere. Yeah, I've already got it in there. Okay, so once you've got that back in there, let's go back over to this page again. And if we roll down just a little bit more, we've got a bit of JavaScript. And again, all you need to do is take it from the opening script tag to the closing script tag. Control-C to copy. We'll go back to where we were in the theme options. Let's go to the top of the page this time. This time we're going to go over to integration. Add the code to the head of your blog. And again, if there's something there, you can shoot it down and paste your new code in there. And again, I'm not going to save this because I've already got it in there. That was it down below. So let's undo that. Once you've pasted it in there, it'll look kind of like that. Save your changes. And we're good to go to make some pop-ups. Now, if we look over here, back to this page, we'll roll back up a little bit and do read it all. It gives you some great tips and things like this. I'm just ripping you through it quickly. It tells us we've got to give the button that we want to pop up, our other element, class of ETLB button 1. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go back to our page. Here's the button. I'm going to go into it, the dark tab. Over to the advanced tab, always where you'll find CSS ID and classes. I'm going to click on it. It's a class. Make sure you put it in class, not an ID. There it is. And it tells you how to make multiple pop-ups on a page if you want to by incrementing with this number. Just read that little article. It's very easy to do. Great. Once that's in there, I'm going to save my changes. While I'm in here, my little section with the button in it, I'm going to skinny it up a little bit. So I'm going to go into my section. I'm going to go to background. I'm going to make the background black. And I'm going to take any padding away. Over in design, spacing, padding. Hit the chain. It'll do the bottom. Great. That's all I want to see really, is this little black bar with a button in it. This bit will not be here. Now, how do we tell that button to pop this particular bit up? Save our changes there. Well, what we've actually got to do, if we look back at this page here, if I roll up a little bit more, it tells us that the content has to have the class name of content-1, ETLB content-1. So again, I'm going to copy that, Control C. We'll go back to the web page. I'm going to go into the content that I want to pop up. I'm going to pop up this whole section. If I was to just pop up the module itself by giving it this class name, it would work fine, but it would stretch the whole of the screen there, and you may not be able to get to the button that closes it down. So I found it's better to do it with a section, or perhaps a row with a little bit of padding, but that's up to you. So I'm going to go into my section again, the blue tab. I'm going to go over to Advanced, CSS ID and Classes. Again, it's a class, not an ID. Put it in a class. There it is, ETLB Content-1. Great. Well, that button should now pop up this little bit of content on our page, and that button should take them to the full story. Now, before I get out of here, we should be good with the pop-up. Cosmetically, our little pop-up's okay, but that writing's getting a bit lost in there. So let's go back into our little slider module here. I'm going to go over to the design. We're going to go to overlay. You can use a regular background overlay if you want to, which is on at the moment. I'm going to take that off. See it brighten up a little bit. And we've lost the text even more. But I'm going to use the text overlay down below. I'm going to flip that to on. Now, it's not quite doing it for me. It's kind of legible, but not as legible as I'd like it. So I'm going to put a black in the background there. I'm going to click on the little field there. Little variegated slider. I'm going to pull it down until we can see enough of the image behind, but I can still read that writing nicely. Something like that works for me. And I'm going to make that button a little bit more interesting. That's the read more button, remember. And an easy way to get for it is just hover over it, go to the paintbrush. If we use custom styles, I'll leave it the actual color it is, but I'll give it a little border, and I think I might make it a little bit opaque as well. So custom styles are on with the button. Button text color is white, that's absolutely fine. Button background, we'll give it that purple that it's got already. And I'm going to take a bit of that background away by clicking on the field again. Little variegated slider till that image starts feeding through a little bit. That works for me. And let's give it a little white border also. If we roll down, border width, I'm going to make that 2 pixels. In fact, I'm going to leave it at 1. I think that works fine actually. Obviously, you do whatever it is you want to do. Great, so I'm happy with all of that now. Our button down here and this up here. Let's save our changes. Save the page changes, little purple button at the bottom. And we'll exit the visual builder. Now we can roll on down to where we were working. And first thing you notice is the little pop-up that we designed with the little car and everything in there is not there. All we've got is the black bar with our little button. And if we hover over and click on the button, there it is. It pops up our little news. And if I click on this, it'll take us to that news story. Here we are. Let's go back. Now, every time you publish a new news story, that is the one that's going to pop up here. And just to prove that, let's go back to our posts. We'll go back to our post page and we'll flip the dates around. So I've got an autonomous car there and a plane lands. We'll flip the dates around so the plane lands is the newest one. Easiest way to do that again is in Quick Edit. This one's October the 5th. If I take the date back by a month, it'll be before the other one. Let's say September the 5th. Update. Now if we go back and refresh this page, go down and click the button, it's popped up with that different story. And every time you add a news story to your latest news categories, that's the one that's going to pop up here. And that's a really great little feature that I thought I'd share with you. So there you go, guys. There's how to pop up the latest news story with no plugin. Really easy to do, great little feature. In the next video, I'll show you how to do the little animation that we had with the color change that we had at the beginning of the video. I'll just bring that back quickly. Here it is right here. So I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. Don't forget, if you have any questions, pop them below the video. I'll do my best to answer them for you, or make a little demo video like this one. Once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.